Alright, so let me tell you the story of Andrew and Abby and the woman who was accused of killing them, Lizzie Borden. Andrew was a wealthy and successful businessman who owned a prominent hardware store in Fall River, Massachusetts. Andrew married Sarah Morse in 1845. They had 2 daughters together, Emma and Lizzie. Tragedy struck when Sarah passed away in 1863. Sarah's cause of death was officially listed as uterine congestion, but the exact circumstances of her passing remain somewhat unclear. Andrew Borden married his second wife, Abby Duffy Gray, in 1865, 2 years after the death of his first wife, Sarah. Abby became stepmother to Andrew's 2 daughters, Emma and Lizzie. The relationship between Abby and Andrew has been the subject of much speculation and debate. Some sources suggest that the couple had a strained relationship, with Abby often feeling like an outsider in the Borden family. Others, however, suggest that their marriage was harmonious and loving. There have been rumors that Abby and Lizzie did not get along, that Lizzie resented Abby for coming between her and her father. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory. It is entirely possible that the trauma of losing their mother at such a young age may have had contributed to the tensions and difficulties within the Borden family. Lizzie Borden's childhood was somewhat tumultuous. Although Andrew was a wealthy man, he was known to be frugal and strict with his daughters. Lizzie and Emma were reportedly not allowed to have many friends and were required to do house chores. They were also sent to a boarding school for a while, but Lizzie was reportedly unhappy there. Despite these challenges, Lizzie had a close relationship with her sister Emma and was active in her local church. She even became a Sunday school teacher at the age of 32, a role that she continued to hold even after the murder trial. August 4, 1892 started out like any other day for the Borden family. Andrew went to town for some business, leaving his daughter Lizzie, his wife Abby, and their housekeeper Bridget Sullivan at home. Later that day, when Andrew returned home, Lizzie informed him that Abby had gone to visit a friend after receiving a note. But in reality, Abby was already dead upstairs, having been attacked with a hatchet 19 times. Lizzie then suggested to Sullivan to leave the house, telling her about a nearby cell, but Sullivan refused, saying she was feeling unwell. She then went on to her bedroom to rest. But things took a dark turn when Lizzie suddenly screamed that her father had been murdered. Andrew was found dead on the couch with his face badly mutilated and covered in blood. Lizzie then panicked and asked Sullivan to check upstairs for Abby. Unfortunately, Sullivan found her dead on the floor with similar hatchet wounds. Initially, when the police was alerted of the murders, Lizzie was not a suspect, but she was later arrested and put on trial for the murders as a result of her suspicious and conflicting accounts of her actions on the day of the murder and afterwards. First, Lizzie had given conflicting accounts of her whereabouts and actions on the morning of the murders. She initially claimed to have been in the barn looking for lead to make sinkers, but later said she was in the house ironing. She also gave conflicting accounts of what she was wearing at the time of the murders. Secondly, there were reports that Lizzie had tried to buy poison from a local drugstore just a few days before the murders, claiming that she was going to use it to kill rats. Although Lizzie later denied this, the rumors persisted and contributed to the suspicion that she may have had a motive for killing her father and stepmother. Thirdly, there were reports that Lizzie had burned a dress in a stove a few days after the murders. Although she claimed that the dress was old and that she was simply trying to get rid of it, some people believe that it may have been stained with blood. Finally, there were several other pieces of circumstantial evidence that pointed to Lizzie's possible involvement in the murders, such as the fact that she had reportedly had a strained relationship with her stepmother and stood to gain a significant amount of money from her father's estate. Based on these conflicting reports coming from Lizzie, she was promptly arrested and put on trial for the murder of her parents. During the trial, Lizzie was represented by a skilled defense team that was able to cast doubts on the prosecution's case. They argued that there was no clear motive for Lizzie to have committed the murders and that the prosecution's witnesses had provided contradictory and unreliable testimony. Additionally, the defense was able to provide witnesses who testified that they had seen Lizzie at various locations at the time of the murders, giving her an alibi for the crucial moments when the crimes were believed to have been committed. Ultimately, the jury was unable to reach a verdict, and the judge declared a mistrial, and Lizzie walked away a free woman. Lizzie was never retried for the murders, and while many people continued to believe that she was guilty, there was not enough evidence to convict her in a court of law.
The case remains a mystery to this day, with different theories suggesting that Lizzie killed her father and stepmother due to anger, jealousy, or even financial gain, but who's to know? Others have even speculated that Sullivan was involved. But with no solid evidence, the truth behind the brutal murders of Andrew and Abby Borden will forever remain a mystery. Until next time, humans, stay safe out there.